My life improved dramatically through what many would call megadosing vitamin D3, together with magnesium and vitamin K2. If I compare who I am now to how I felt before, I feel like a completely different human being. Calmer, stronger, more resilient, and someone who rarely gets sick. That change pushed me to research vitamin D3 much more deeply, and what I see is that multiple systems seem to converge in the same direction, weakening the relationship between the human body and vitamin D. You have the constant demonization of the sun. You have the climate narrative that frames sun dimming as something responsible. You have visible trails in the sky that reduce sunlight. Then you have industrial food, seed oils, vegetable oils, ultra-processed foods, chemical ingredients. All of that increases inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. And an inflamed body reacts worse to the sun, burns more easily, and tolerates it less. Then for years people have been told to fear the sun, fear skin cancer, cover up, stay inside, and use sunscreen constantly. So now there is yet another filter between the body and the sunlight it needs to synthesize vitamin D3. Then come the official guidelines. If the RDA stays at 600 or 800 IU and blood tests define normal by the minimum needed to avoid bone disease, then people are told they are fine when they may only be avoiding rickets and severe bone loss, not reaching levels that support immunity, mood, inflammation control, metabolism, and resilience. And that matters because vitamin D is not just for bones. It acts much more like a hormone and influences the entire organism. When it is low, energy, mood, recovery, immune strength, and overall function all decline. But instead of being recognized as one broad deficiency, it gets split into separate symptoms: anxiety, depression, fatigue, inflammation, infections, high blood pressure. And instead of rebuilding real biological strength, the medical system usually treats symptoms one by one with drugs. That is also where the economic interest appears. A strong body is a bad customer. A weaker body that keeps needing treatment, checkups, and symptom management is much more profitable. That creates dependence. That is why I think it is so important to understand vitamin D3 and implement it safely through nutrition, lifestyle, and supplementation. Nutritionally, vitamin D works better in a coherent context. More healthy fats, enough magnesium, enough K2, and attention to calcium sources. Lifestyle matters too. Get as much sun as you reasonably can. Use UV support if you live in low-sun environments, and avoid seed oils and inflammatory foods that make the body more vulnerable. As for supplementation, my baseline idea is at least 10,000 IU per day of vitamin D3, with 100 micrograms of K2 and at least 400 milligrams of magnesium. For stricter carnivores, boron may also be worth evaluating. I made this video because vitamin D3 changed my life. For more than 4 years, I have taken 40,000 IU a day or more, always with proportionate K2 and magnesium, and the difference for me was obvious. Palpitations, aches, fatigue, irritability, low mood, all gone within weeks. And when I stopped for a while, or forgot to buy more, I felt the difference again. First in mood, then in energy, aches, and that general feeling of doing worse. So I made this video to share something that made a real difference in my life, and because I believe many people may still be living in a chronic vitamin D3 deficiency without realizing it. I hope this helps someone move toward better health.